Hello guys, welcome back onto the channel. Sony has expressed interest in porting PlayStation exclusives over to the PC, and with the release of games like Journey, Death Stranding, and Horizon Zero Dawn on the platform, could Gran Turismo be next? Out of all of Sony exclusives, Gran Turismo is the one that stands to gain the most out of a PC port. The PC as a platform has been home to some of the best simulation racing games with a very dedicated player base that's willing to spend thousands of dollars on some pretty awesome setups, all for the sake of total immersion. Gran Turismo Sport has been at the center stage of the racing genre since the FIA-sanctioned World Tour started, and it brought a lot of attention to the franchise, which attracted a lot of that PC-only audience that's really invested into this type of game. And as a result, the competition level in Gran Turismo Sport has got insanely high. So where do Polyphony Digital and Sony go from there? Gran Turismo as a franchise has proven it has the ability to be mainstream while also catering to the hardcore part of the audience. But part of this push needs to go beyond the conventional thinking that often surrounds the console space. The appeal is there, and a PC port of the upcoming Gran Turismo 7 could bring in a wider audience to an already pretty successful game. To give you a bit of perspective, Gran Turismo is one of Sony's best-selling game franchises, having sold over 85 million copies worldwide since the release of the first Gran Turismo game on the PlayStation 1. And I will admit that the only reason why I pre-ordered a PS5 is Gran Turismo 7. That's the only Sony exclusive I care about, but one that proves that the argument that exclusive games sell consoles is indeed true. But this argument also proves it's the software that matters. Sony wouldn't have a console to sell without the games, and that's where I think a PC port of Gran Turismo 7 would be a smart move that would substantially increase the market share of the franchise in the racing game genre. A PC port of Gran Turismo 7 would mean a lot of benefits that could surely trickle down to future games in the franchise for the PS5. Graphics would surely look better, but I think the main draw would be higher frame rates, which is something Kazunori Yamauchi has expressed interest in the past. Polyphony Digital would also have a ton of data to collect on how people are playing the game and what devices they're playing with, and that should help improve the optimization of the handling of the game across the board. The only downside to a PC port I can think of is that Sony wouldn't be able to charge for online play like they do on consoles. I mean, they could, but I hardly think PC players would buy into that, especially since online play on the PC has always been free, and that's where I think the biggest hurdle is. When Microsoft started porting over their games to the PC, they knew they would have to adapt to the platform and offer free online play. And that's exactly what they did. The question is, would Sony be flexible enough to accommodate such a big change in how they run their business? There are definitely financial implications here, and that's beyond the scope of what I'm able to understand. But the immediate consequence would be a hit to the revenue stream that PlayStation Plus represents for the company, and that's a big deciding factor on whether a port like this would be feasible. And before people starting comparing Sony to Microsoft and calling greed as the reason why this probably won't happen, you need to understand that Microsoft has a lot, and I mean a lot more cash than Sony. Microsoft can afford to take such a hit for the sake of widening their audience and play the long run game. Sony, on the other hand, may not have enough cash to afford such a move, and that's why things run a bit slower over there. So that's a very valid reason why a PC port may never happen for Gran Turismo. However, if Sony truly is committed to the long game and looking at what it can be rather than focusing on what it is, there's an even better reason why a PC port should happen. Both Sony and Microsoft sell consoles at a loss. For every unit sold, their hope is that people are gonna buy enough software over the course of the console lifespan to offset the loss on that sold unit and turning profits that justify the risk the company is taking. And like consoles, a PC port could bring in enough players to offset the loss they would take by dropping the PlayStation Plus requirement for online play and turn in a profit. The PC as a platform has such a limitless potential from the perspective of a player base that's not that difficult to imagine how much bigger and popular the franchise would get thanks to the game being available on it. The future of the franchise is definitely bright. Gran Turismo Sport has always felt like an experiment for what's to come, and with Gran Turismo 7 looming in the horizon, belief in the digital is sure to double down on bringing the franchise to the standard that players of the older games have come to expect from it, while also expanding the competitive aspect that has proven to be very successful. Anyways, that's all I have for this one. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.